Hey guys, today we're going to go through stem changing verbs. A little tricky, a couple extra steps. Before we get too deep into any verb conjugations, we got to make sure we can set up the conjugation properly. So let's review our subject pronouns. Remember that the left side is for a singular subject, I, you, he or she, while the right side is for plural subjects. So two or more people. We, you guys, they. You'll see two different colors being used. Four of these boxes are going to be green in color, while two are yellow. Later in the video, we'll see that we are going to separate these upper right boxes away from the green ones. Now that we've reviewed the subject pronouns, let's just roll through a few conjugations to make sure we have our endings correct. Let's start with an AR verb. We'll take hablar. We'll identify the stem. Once we identify the stem, we know to remove the AR ending. Copy the stem 6 times. And just go through and add the AR endings. Switching gears and doing an ER verb. We'll take comer, underline the stem. Once we know the stem is made up of C-O-M, we'll copy that first. And of course finish up with the ER verb endings. We've done an AR and we've done an ER, now we'll take an IR verb. Remember, the IR verb endings differ slightly. Hopefully you remember that they are in the nosotros and vosotros. We identify the stem for vivir, which is viv. Copy it 6 times. Remember, it looks like an ER verb, except for the nosotros. And that vosotros. But there's these things called stem-changing verbs. They're basically just spelling changes. They only happen in 4 of the 6 conjugations. So the next natural question would be, okay, but how will I know if it's a stem changer? About how verbs look on a vocab sheet or even in a dictionary. You'll see little indications written after the infinitive. Sometimes they're arrows, sometimes they're little greater than signs, sometimes just a colon, as you see here. The 4 types of stem changes are listed here. These are examples. Querer, to want. Pedir, to ask for. Dormir, to sleep. And of course, jugar, to play. These are all stem-changing verbs. So I see that there's a game plan. But how does the game plan work? Let's use querer. When we see the game plan, we look for the first letter, in this case, the E. And that means that we have to find that E in the stem of the verb querer. Once we do, we're going to change it out for an IE. That's how the game plan works. When we do it on paper, we typically will draw an arrow above or below, just to remind ourselves that we need to swap out that letter. Now, the interesting thing about stem-changing verbs is you don't make the stem change or the spelling change for all 6 conjugations. So we're going to break out a couple rectangles. We're going to fence off an area that we're going to consider inside the boot, which is that shape, and outside the boot. So for yo, for tú, for el, ella, and for ellos, we make a spelling change. We call this inside the boot. However, outside the boot, nosotros and vosotros, we do not make a spelling change. We treat the verb just like we have all year long, for regular conjugations. Now that we know which ones get the change and which ones don't, let's try it out. We'll take dormir, to sleep. We see that it's an O changing to UE verb. So we spot the O, we draw a little arrow underneath it. In our minds or on our papers, we break off the nosotros and vosotros. We know that that's outside the boot. And we treat the stem just like we normally would. Dor, no change. However, inside the boot, we have to make a spelling change. Change out the O for a UE, and it becomes duerme. So you can see the stems are all different inside the boot than they are outside the boot. Finally, add the proper ending. Make sure to use an IR ending. I sleep, you sleep, he sleeps, etc. Let's do another one. Pedir, to ask for. This one's an E to I change. Draw the arrow, spot the letter E. Separate the 4 rectangles, the 4 areas that will get the spelling change, from the 2 that won't. The stem, PED, is just like it would be under any other circumstance. No change. Outside the boot, no need to change. Inside the boot, we have a new stem. Finally, add your proper endings. And you get pido, pides, pide. But notice nosotros is pedimos. Slight change in the spelling and the sound. Pensar, to think. An E becomes IE verb, like querer. As always, we see that it's an E changes to IE. We have to find the E. We found it with the arrow. Separate as usual. We have no spelling changes happening outside the boot. Hence. However, inside the boot, you can see what's coming. The E will change to an IE and become piens. Piens. And this slight change adds a syllable to the word. And it sounds different to the native speaker. Yo penso versus yo pienso. Add the appropriate endings. This time it's an AR verb. And you get I think, you think, he thinks. And there's one more thing. You'll find verbs, typically ones that have 2 E's. where you have to decide which E do I change. The rule of thumb is that we always go for the one closest to the end. In this case, it's going to be that second E. Let's see what it looks like. This will be our last verb. It's a double E verb, but we take the second one, or the one closest to the ending. There's the E we're going to swap out. Now just apply what we've done before. Separating as always. Thinking about changing versus not changing. No change. Inside the boot, we're going to add a syllable. That letter I will make our word a little bit longer, and one syllable longer in sound. Entiende. Entiende. Finally, add the appropriate endings. Entiendo. Entiendes. I understand. You understand. We understand. Entendemos. Nice job. It's a tough topic.